All right, well, we've got about 40 minutes to the opening bell, and I'm sitting here more or less the same as probably yesterday at this time. No trades yet. We've got VRAX. It's our leading gapper, and it's a grinder. This is very similar to SONN Wednesday and FRZA yesterday. I don't love trading these, and the reason is because I'm a breakout trader. And so I'm looking for stocks moving very quickly. And when I buy breakouts on stocks like this, often I'm not rewarded because it breaks only by a few cents like it does here, then it reverses. Then it breaks again by just a few cents and then it reverses. And then it breaks again just by a few cents to the new high and then it reverses. Now in this spot here over 38, it finally pulled away. It squeezed up to 52. It dropped down and then it continued. And of course, at this point up here, it simply starts to feel now that it's extended. That if I got in up here, I would be chasing it. So, that's just the way it is sometimes. And in total, I didn't do particularly well on Sun. The day that we had this move on Sun, I made a little bit, but I didn't do particularly well on it. Grinding price action, similar price range also. And then FRZA yesterday, I went down 1,000 on it before being up 1,000. I was trading with 20,000 share positions. So $1,000 is 5 cents a share. And, it wasn't hard to be all of a sudden down 6 or 8 cents. And now I'm down almost $2,000. And I felt like this probably doesn't have the potential to give me a $4,000 or $5,000 winner. My daily goal is $5,000. So it's not likely that I would get a 20, 30 cent squeeze on it. And although you could say, well, just size up to 30 or 40,000 shares, you still have the risk of catching one of these knife candles, which I actually had one last week with 30,000 shares and I lost $6,000 on it. So I'm not inclined to get super aggressive at this point on VRAX. We'll see if it's, what it does, but it's obviously extended on the 5. I'm not interested really in grinding stocks. I don't do super well on them. I'm looking for the more exciting momentum, the parabolic, fast moving stocks. I know that's what I like. I know it's what I trade the best. So days like today, it could be hard to have the patience to, you know, to sort of hold tight. And it's hard to have the discipline not to FOMO long, at the high on something like this. But I just, at the moment, it just doesn't have me feeling very excited. So, anyways, that's VRAX. It's our leading gapper. Not that interesting to me at the moment. AFib, AFIB. This one is a cheaper stock. It's 99 cents, about $1. 200 moving average. EMA is at 242. SMA is at 124. Floats a little higher at 22 million shares. BPTS. Yeah, floats a little higher on that one too. It's a little cheaper. BDSX. And of course, we have the overall market pulling back right now. So, I don't know. I mean, that weighs on things a little bit, but as I always say, the small cap market trades a little bit independent from what's going on with the overall market in a sense that a small cap stock with news can go up 40, 50, 100, 200% even when the market's going down. So these are the ones that generally we're looking for. I just don't happen to love the price range and price action of grinding stocks. So I'm just leaving this one alone for right now. So we've got about half an hour to the opening bell. It's been a bit of a slow start to the month of November, and it was kind of a slow finish to the month of October. But, that's just sometimes the way it is. So, just kind of got to roll with it. So that's VRAX. Let's see, HUDI is on the gap scan. This one is sort of the polar opposite of VRAX in the sense that it could move dollars a share, but this one right now, it's a continuation stock from the move yesterday, and you know, while it could make a big move, it has bigger spreads, so the risk is going to be higher, and that makes it a little challenging to manage your downside on it. Pre-market high is 38. So daily chart shows maybe some room over 40, but it's just a stock that's had a history of just being kind of wild. It's had some really big moves. Um, I've traded it and done okay on it, here and there, but I don't know. It is a Chinese stock, so we know that Chinese stocks can go crazy the way it did on this day, where it went from $30 to $68 a share. But this is sort of like almost a dead cat bounce after that move. So I just don't know that it's the one today, but I have it on a side chart and we'll see. VRAX, at what point would I be willing to just trade it, even though the gains will most likely be small? I'm not even sure right now. Maybe, I don't know. I'm not sure. It already had a first pullback, 29, and went higher. Micro pullback at 52. Or no, sorry, that was 38. Now it's pulling back off of 60. So keeping an eye on what other folks are calling out, what other folks are looking at. We've got 9 a.m. coming up here, so we'll see if there's any news at the top of the hour. Yes, reminder as always for those tuning in for the morning show on YouTube, welcome. I hope you guys are having a great day. Trading is risky. My results are not typical, and there's no guarantee you'll find success whether you trade on your own or you learn from me. So make sure you take it slow, practice this simulator before you put real money on the line. Don't trade money you can't afford to lose, and don't try to blindly follow me or anyone else for that matter. You've got to learn a strategy, and you can learn by watching other people and understanding what they're trading, why they're getting in, where they're getting in, etc. But it's not a good idea just to try to blindly follow people. So VRAX bottoming tail there was 43. MACD, as you can tell, is kind of just very tight, pulling back just a little bit right now. QTNT reverse split. Yes, that is true. Let's see. Let's see, the last earnings. So 135 million shares. Yeah. Okay. So, but then they did the 40 to 1 reverse split. So new float's going to be around 3.3 million shares. It's funny when they gap down on split. Actually, it's here. Euro. Price is a little lower. So my kind of feeling right now is like if I don't have a good chance at hitting the daily goal on a stock, it's almost like why even bother trading it? I could take 20,000 shares of VRAX here, but I think I'd be sitting here holding it for a while. And so the whole time I'm holding it, I'm exposing myself to being down, $1,000 to $2,000. And at best, it grinds back up to the high. I mean, maybe I could do it, but I would have to hold it for longer, and then the whole time I'm holding it is this exposure risk of catching, just had the bad timing of catching that knife when you're in it. So I just don't feel like I just don't feel like it's worth it. I mean, I like to break the ice. I like to trade. I want to trade, but it doesn't feel too hard to talk myself out of this one. And I feel the same way with neuro. It's not too hard to talk myself out of that one either. So it's helpful when you know what you're looking for, because when you don't see it, it's just like, well, it's not here. Granted, we'd all love to have some really awesome momentum every single day, but it's just not the way it is. Some days are going to be better than others. Hmm. Hi, Trey. Thanks. Good morning. Good to see you. Okay, so Marcelo says the ones he's watching are VRAX and HUDI. Well, I think that you've got the right idea. You're looking at two that both, well, certainly VRAX is a leading gapper, HUDI is fourth leading gapper, but has potential to move if it gets a little bit more volume. It does have news this morning, so. You can experience either the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. Ooh, yes. All right, so let's see what some of the other big badge holders are looking at. So, Max, what do you have on watch today? What about Hamang? Max is watching VRAX and AFib. VRAX feels grindy so far, needs to become clear. It would be nice if it gets around the 9 to 20, right? Um, but slow scan so far. Yep, okay. And then AFib, penny stock, right? Yeah. Okay. And I had an interview with a 100K badge holder yesterday, and I'm going to do an interview today with a $1 million badge holder. So I'm excited about that. Those interviews will get uploaded soon. anyone in the chat room that is interested in doing an interview, one of the first steps, generally speaking, is to get your first badge. So I'll put a link there using the copy and paste for broker statement verification. Okay, so you can verify and then earn your badge, and then love to do an interview with you and share that interview with members. I know that there's a lot of you guys out there that have made more than enough to qualify for a badge, but you haven't done it yet. You think, I don't need the badge. I don't need people to know how much I've made. Well, okay, I hear you. On the other hand, it really does go a long ways for people in the community because they look and they see, wait, this is someone that actually knows a thing or two. This is someone who's got some seniority in the community. And then, you're paying it forward by sharing with people your words of wisdom, right? That's one of the things I always ask during these interviews. What's your strategy? What made you want to start trading? How did you find yourself to be this successful trading? And what are some words of wisdom you'd like to share with someone who's at the very beginning of their journey? And I think everyone here who's found some degree of success has some things that they would like to share with someone who's a beginner. It's actually funny. The student that I did the interview with yesterday, he said that he was in a coffee shop trading, and someone was looking over his shoulder and was like, "Oh, I see you're trading." They start talking about trading, and he said, "Have you ever heard of this guy Ross Cameron? He's a really good trader." And the student said no. And so at that point, he looked me up, started following me on YouTube, and has become a member, now is a badge holder. And I want you guys to know that I have people in coffee shops all around the world waiting to look over your shoulder and see anything stock related so they can tell you, hey, you want to learn about trading, you better go find Ross over on YouTube. So thank you to the army of day trade warriors out there helping spread the good word. I'll obviously appreciate it, and it does mean the world that you guys are out there, telling people, hey, you want to learn about trading? This is the person to learn from. So thank you guys for doing that. It's very cool to hear those stories. And every now and then I get to run into someone who says, wait, hey, I follow you on YouTube. I know who you are. And it's always nice when you guys come up and say hi to me. It's really pretty cool. So thank you guys for doing that. All right, we've got about 20 minutes to the opening bell. And one of the things I mentioned, so the student that I was talking to yesterday, he's been trading for years. I think he was talking about maybe 2017 was when he first started getting into trading. So he's been doing this for a long time. And he was one of those traders that started on cryptocurrency, dabbled with a little bit of everything, just really kind of like a little bit of shooting from the hip for a long time, trying to figure out I don't even really know how to trade. I'm just buy something, I think it's going to go up, and then it doesn't, and then that's weird. I don't understand it. And he really lost a lot of what could have been very good productive time just kind of trying to reinvent the wheel, which I think is something that a lot of beginner traders struggle with. And so, I'm putting it out there. I'm here with over 22,000 trades. I've been doing this for a long time. In fact, I started my YouTube channel where I started putting out free content on YouTube in January of 2013. So it's been almost 10 years since I've had just my YouTube channel. And I've been trading for such a long time that I've kind of done the legwork and accumulated all this historical data that helps support the reason that you should focus on trading at the open, right? The reason you should focus on trading stocks between $2 and $10 generally. The reason you should focus on trading stocks with 5 times relative volume. All of that data, all of the reasons why that works is right here. Now, it's your choice whether you want to try to learn this strategy that certainly works for me, and it does work for other people. It doesn't work for everyone. I'm not gonna say it works for everyone. My results are not typical, but then there's no guarantee that you'll find success. But I think it makes a lot of sense if you're at the beginning of your learning curve to learn from someone who actually has this type of track record that supports the way they're trading. And that's what's really challenging on YouTube and social media in general. There's a lot of people out there putting out content, but it's really hard to sift through and figure out what's credible. You know, is this person just a bag holder who's trying to promote, you know, why you should buy GameStop because they're holding it for $400 a share or something? You know, why should I listen to this person? There's more content out there on the markets and trading than you could possibly consume. So you have to make a decision of how you're going to filter in what you consume and what you just let go by. So, I mean, I'm saying all that, just I'm stating the obvious, but, and it's a little bit of a slow morning, so I'm on a little bit of a tangent here, but tomorrow we'll have some guests back on the morning show. And thank you guys who have given your feedback on the morning show structure that we've been doing. So I'm at 0 trades so far at 9:15. Not a very exciting day. I don't know what to tell you. It's just, you know, in hindsight, I could have, would have, should have taken 20,000 shares of VRAX at $2 and held it all the way to 250. But that's not breakout trading. I like being a breakout trader. And one of the reasons that breakout trading appealed to me so much when I was getting started is because when I was getting started, I was trading on leverage. I was trading on borrowed money. So I wanted to get in and get out as quick as I could. I didn't want to sit here holding a position on borrowed money for a long time. So, you know, that's the way I learned how to trade. And I just still trade that way. So earlier, was it this week or at the end of last week, our 12th member, our 12th student earned his $1 million badge, which was really exciting. And I'm talking with him about the possibility of him teaching a mini class on his strategy. So that will be coming soon. Nice. So, you know, that's the green and red on the calendar. Now we got to see the equity curve. Did he already post it and I missed it? No, I don't think so. All right, well, we'll see if he posts the equity curve next. And don't forget to upload your broker statements so we can give you that 250K badge. So that's a great question. So John, simple question. Why is it that the open of a candlestick does not align with the close of a candlestick on the previous day? Why is it that they sometimes open out of order? And that is because of gaps. So a gap is when the stock opens higher or opens lower than the previous trading session. And that's because pre-market, these candles are daily. It's kind of funny. It's a little, it's sort of like legacy stuff because these candles are based on the price action from 9:30 until 4. It does not include pre-market price action. But even if it did include pre-market price action, sometimes at 4 a.m., you'll have the bid is already significantly higher than the previous bid the previous day because there's news that happened overnight. So it's just by the time it's opening, it's already bidding higher. And generally that's because of some type of news catalyst. So HUDI right now is set up to gap today because it closed at 30 and it's at 35 right now. So that's because of a pre-market gap. Yep. No, it's a great question. And there's no, there's no harm in throwing that question out there. It's pretty solid. So student posting this, very nice. And that's actually just since June. It's the last 90 days. Wow. Solid. That's enough for a down payment on a Lamborghini. We do have women that are badge holders. We don't have a woman yet that is a $1 million badge holder. So that'll be a great thing to see. Tanner's on the roller coaster, up and down. Okay, so game plan going into the open, about 9 minutes to the opening bell. VRAX, yeah, it's on a side chart. Kind of made that's probably going to be marking the high for the time being. So topped out there. Overall market's pulling back, but small caps just kind of slow this morning. BVH popped up there a little bit. Let's see. Some earnings, but blue green vacations, I don't know. AFib, 88 cents. ATNM, I know that one got Hamong the other day. Side chart. Reminds me of AMPX. That one's gotten me a couple times. Choppy. Neuro. I know. I see it. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. I just don't know which one's going to really stick. Having a hard time feeling super trusting on any of these. So Neuro is a stock that we traded in the past. In the past, it's had some big green candles, but it's been really beaten up. So, it's got some news. So, I don't know. Side chart. Neuro. I think there's a lot of traders out there that are sitting on the sidelines waiting for, the next stock to open up in a bigger way. And I'm sure some of those traders already broke the ice and took some trades on VRAX. I'm sure some of those traders might be willing to break the ice and, or just trade something like Neuro. It's obviously moving a little bit, but I'm looking for something that I think has a little more potential. I'd like more the $3 to $5 price range. I mean, or higher is fine, but $2 is a tricky spot, especially when you're trying to take smaller size. ATNM is easy to borrow. Right, so you don't trade out of boredom. Be patient, be disciplined. Got about 6.5 minutes to the opening bell. Looks like hidden sellers on Neuro at 196. Nice, good job. Yeah, there is news on AT&M earnings. So, all right, well, we've got 5 minutes to the opening bell. I think today's going to be a day where, at least initially, I'll be kind of sitting and watching and seeing if something starts to open up and become a bit more obvious. I suppose I left a little money on the table, not trading the grinding action on VRAX, but like I said, it's grinding. There's some good reasons why I don't want to trade it. So I'm just going to sit tight for right now. All right, so that's our game plan here going into the open. Warrior members at Day Trade Dash. We're going to keep trading here going to the open. Those of you guys on YouTube, thank you as always for tuning in. I hope you hit the thumbs up. And we are going to premiere a new episode on YouTube in just a few minutes on how to hold your winners longer. It is the counterpart to how to cut your losers faster. So that'll be streaming on YouTube as a premiere this morning. I hope you guys really enjoy it. And I'll see you back here first thing tomorrow morning. All right, thanks as always for tuning in. See you in the morning.